The year 2005. You pull up to the store with your mom, so excited to go shopping with her, but not in the hopes of getting your favorite sugary cereal or even a toy. What you're looking forward to cannot be bought or even held. It can only be felt. You turn the corner and you see it. The Soothing Sounds CD display case. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. For the next 5 minutes or so, you're about to become the unofficial DJ of your local Target. So many lovely sounds to choose from on this peeling plastic button board. Zen relaxation, relaxing garden, relaxing guitar, Cayman Island escape, smooth jazz, or even lullabies from some of your favorite celebrities. Not really, because you're 8 years old and you have no idea who these people are. Nick Lachey's A Father's Lullaby, Jewel lullabies. Oh, and there are some love songs too. Ew, no, gross. Boys Have Cooties, we're not listening to love songs. Moving on from that one, you start moving to the groove like no one's watching, even though they probably are on those cameras. Finding your inner calm, as the CD says, when you hear your name called at the other end of the aisle. Maddison! You slowly walk away with your head down, but remembering you will be back to find your inner calm again. You will. If that button isn't broken, like the rain and thunderstorm sounds was this time. So I just wanted to paint you a picture of how much this affected some of us. This video is sponsored by Native. With Native's Best Sellers Pack, you can enjoy every part of your shower routine with their body wash, deodorant, and deodorant and body spray. Plus, their products are clean, simple, effective, and will keep you smelling good all day. Native has a huge range of scents to please anyone. So I have 3 of the classic deodorants. I got the lavender and rose, grapefruit and bergamot, and the sensitive sandalwood and shea butter. I really like the lavender and rose. I always love a good floral scent. They provide up to 72 hours of odor protection, aluminum free, paraben free. They're not sticky and they feel dry while applying. And then I got the body wash, which is sandalwood and shea butter. It leaves your skin feeling soft and hydrated and froths up into a luxurious lather. And then last I got the deodorant and body spray. This applies light as air, a cooling light mist that dries on contact, leaving you smelling great and feeling fresh. And there's also Native's limited edition Fall Escape collection, where you can give your personal care routine its own autumnal moment with their new Fall Escape collection. So get your Best Sellers Pack today, normally $36, but if you use my link and code MaddisonB2, that's Maddison with 2 D's, B2, you can get your deodorant, body wash, and deodorant and body spray for only $24. That's 33% off. So thank you, Native, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. Compilation albums. A compilation album comprises tracks which may be previously released or unreleased, usually from several separate recordings by either one performer or by several performers. So if the recordings are from one artist, then generally the tracks were not originally intended for release together as a single work, but may be collected together as a greatest hits album or box set. And if the recordings are from several artists, there may be a theme, topic, time period, or genre which links the tracks, or they may have been intended for release as a single work, such as a tribute album. So greatest hits have been around for a while. Like, I feel like that was one of the first versions of compilation albums. I feel like to have a greatest hits album, you have to be just on a different level. You've got to also have like so many songs, so many hits. Like, some of the most popular, I would say, were like the Beatles, Journey, U2, Queen, the Eagles, mostly like bands. It was a very, I feel like, at least the ones that I think of first are like bands like that, like rockin' songs. Various compilation albums became amongst the best-selling albums worldwide with sales of over 20 million copies. For example, Eagles, their greatest hits, 1971 through 1975, is the best-selling album in the United States, according to Billboard, selling over 38 million copies. The Immaculate Collection by Madonna is the best-selling compilation by a solo artist with 30 million copies. Greatest hits albums were good if you kind of knew of them, or like it was just a collection of some of your favorite songs. People don't really buy CDs anymore. That was more of during like the CD era of things, because now people can just like make a playlist. Artists that I really like now, I just wouldn't like listen to their biggest hits, because most of my favorite songs, because I'm so different and cool and just like whatever, are not their most popular songs. So it would just be to support the artist basically at this point if you bought a greatest hits album. And then there are genre compilation albums, pretty self-explanatory. And movie soundtracks, don't get me started on movie soundtracks, because I'll be here for like 800 million years. Like, I feel like that's its own category. I would call those compilation albums, because most of the time they're coming from different artists making, like the new Barbie soundtrack. One of the upsides to compilation albums was that you may see one and you like a couple of the artists or a couple of the songs on it, but it was a good way to discover new artists that you liked. That was really one of the only other ways, other than the radio at the time. Like there weren't really too many ways to discover new artists unless they were already super popular. So I think that was a good way if you were just like, oh, let's buy a compilation album and discover some new music here. When you think of compilation albums, what's the first album that comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Now that's what I call music. Now that's what I call music. 40 is here. 874. It's a phenomenon. These have been around since 1998. And they're still going strong. Well, the articles that I saw were written in like 2016, so a lot has changed since then, but they were saying that they are still one of the top selling albums. And so they're just keeping it going. They're still on the Billboard charts. They've also like branched out a little bit. They've made different versions, like now that's what I call power ballads, or country, rock, disco. And they have different decades too.
All your favorite hits right here, right now.
Let's call the number. Okay, well, I guess they don't want me to experience music.
Tracks by the hottest artists, including David Guetta.
That was the most hype one. So in the United States, they're currently on number 86. I thought it would be higher than that. I thought they had broken 100. But the British version, they're speeding things up. They've had it going for a while. They're knocking them out a little faster. They're on number 115. Number 115. We need to catch up. I feel like it's a race, like we need to catch up. So I was looking at the songs of the current Now, I'll just call it the Now album, and I noticed that some of the songs, I have not heard of these songs, and I'm kind of scared about it. Anytime I would see these albums, I'd be like, oh, I know every song, because I was up to date. I was pretty like, I know all the words to all the popular songs. But now I've heard of these songs, but like if you asked me to sing like a lyric from it, I'd be like, I can sing you like the TikTok clip from it. And I think it's because like ever since I got Spotify, the more I just listen to random songs that I'll find. It's just like really random, and I'm usually not listening to like the top hit. Usually I'll find an artist that I really like, and I will like hyper fixate on that one artist for a while, and then I'll move on to another artist. Maybe I do need to like pull up one of these albums. Maybe I do need to like buy one of these albums. The era of 44. I just miss when the songs were all just like, you made me feel that la 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 la. Like, I just miss the mindless, just like fun party songs. And those still exist, but if I'm listening to like popular music, I want it to be mindless, almost EDM-esque, just like have a beat, just a DJ. Like, that's what I want. The British version?
Just dancing. Now 115.
Oh, is it all British? No, Miley Cyrus is not British. Anyway, I'm sure they include more British artists. And another memorable one was the Ultimate Love Songs collection that you'd wake up to the commercial of in a cold sweat at 3 a.m. on your couch. Just the funniest thing about that commercial is that it would always be like so late at night when you would see it, but it was the loudest songs you've ever heard, like power ballads, belting. And then there's Kidz Bop.
You've never seen Kidz Bop like this.
Not just clean versions of songs, but like squeaky clean versions of songs. I get them changing certain words, but they don't want you even thinking about touching another human being. They just want you to think about being at school and having fun and playing with your friends. Kidz Bop 14 though
Features special guest Sean Kingston.
And Sean Kingston had to get on there. Some of these, the Kidz Bop kind of served. So Hot and Cold by Katy Perry. We all know it. They changed the PMS line to You Change Your Mind, I Would Know. But they didn't want to mention PMS because these are children. We hug, we make up. No kissing. Children, no kissing. We hug, we make up. I'm surprised they even said that, honestly. Telephone by Lady Gaga and Beyonce. You know that out in the club and I'm sipping that bub. They said, no bubbly drinks for you kids. Out in the club and I'm eating that grub. I get that. That's kind of good though. I like that one. In Closer by the Chainsmokers. They played around with the meaning of sheets, because instead of it referencing a bed, they changed it to mean sheets from a notebook. Because they say like, pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole, I think is the words. And then this says, pull the sheets right off the corner of the notebook that you stole. You can steal, that's fine. But you can steal a notebook, just not a bed, you know. Disney had to get on this wagon of compilation CDs. And this was really where I thrived. This was where I really thrived, was in the Disney compilation CD world. They had Disney Mania, and it was basically, this was just genius. This was like big brain. It was basically all of the popular, like current Disney stars singing classic Disney songs on one album, and it was magical. It was magical stuff. Like When You Wish Upon a Star by NSYNC, the Tiki 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 Room by Hilary Duff. They gave Hilary Duff I wonder if they chose for themselves what songs they wanted to do, because I couldn't see Hilary Duff choosing the Tiki 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 Room. But maybe she did, maybe she was into that. We could have gotten another song from my girl Hilary, but it's okay.
All the birds sing words and the flowers croon in the tiki 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 room.
Some of these were not Disney stars. Smash Mouth was on the first one, okay. But I listened back to a few of them, and some of them were just covers. And it's hard to cover a classic Disney song and have your own take on it and it be really good still, because you're just so used to hearing the original version. And I'm always like that with covers. Like, it's hard to get me to love a cover. But some of my favorites that I remember where they got it. Kiss the Girl by Ashley Tisdale. That's How You Know by Demi Lovato.
How do I know he loves me?
Cruella de Vil by Selena Gomez.
She doesn't scare you, no evil thing.
One of the most interesting ones was A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes, but it was like all of the current Disney stars. They had the Sprouse twins on there.
A dream is a wish your heart makes.
They were like, we are going to get every single Disney star to sing. We're going to make you a star. In every sense of the word. For me, the ultimate compilation album was Girls Rock with a Z. Don't forget the Z. Girls Rock. Okay, absolutely shifted my thought processes from there on. First of all, just the cover of it was just, it looked like denim. So these were songs from Disney movies, but the difference with this one, they were all like girl anthems. It gave the feeling of you're a rockin' girl, and if you just put your mind to it, you can do anything. I still listen to it to this day sometimes for a confidence boost. The curation of this list of songs, someone had a vision, they executed it perfectly, and I only hope to be as visionary as them one day at curating my Spotify playlists. I try every day to be. For a moment, we have to touch on mixtapes, your DIY compilation albums. Let's paint another picture here because I'm feeling like painting pictures today. I just want to paint a picture. Imagine you're in love with someone. I know it's hard to imagine for some of us, but let's just imagine it. You can't find the perfect way to express your love to them. You've tried telling them, but it's just not enough. You're listening to the radio, you hear a song, and you think, this reminds me so much of them. This describes how I'm feeling perfectly. And that happens over a little bit of time. You'll hear another song and you're like, this is describing how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like this might be one of our songs or something. Then the light bulb goes off. I'll make them a mixtape. So you jump onto your family computer, download LimeWire, and burn your CD. I love how we would call it burning a CD because you're literally burning music onto a disc. So you would legally download all the music onto the disc, and then you take the CD out and you're like, this looks boring. This is just a blank disc. So you pull a Sharpie out of the drawer, you start drawing little doodles on it, you even write the whole track list on possibly the CD itself. Then you go to sleep so excited, you get up extra early, you get to school early the next morning, and you stick that sucker in their locker. Because of course you know their combination because you're in love. You get a text later that day on your Nokia. Or BlackBerry, I don't know what the time period is exactly. In all caps, LUVZIT, colon, in parentheses, loves it. And then you break up 2 weeks later, but it's fine. You experienced the mixtape type of love. We'll always have that mixtape. And it still sometimes comes up to this day. Like one of my favorite albums, Casey Musgrave's Star-Crossed, the CD version of her album looks like a little mixtape. I think that's like my love language. Almost every song that I listen to, it reminds me of a specific time or like a specific person. I just think these like compilation albums are just little slices of time put into one album. And you can look back and be like, oh, these were the popular songs at the time, and it kind of puts you into that era. And we still do versions of it today, like making playlists. It's not that it's not a thing anymore, it's just in a different version. It's not a dying art, because it is art. So if you have a playlist for someone, send it to them. Like if you have a playlist for me, just send it to me. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just send it to me. The sentence, this song reminds me of you, that is the current version of Jane Austen novel-esque writing. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.